What's up there, YouTube? Section 333 here. So, I am smoking. This is not a St. Patrick's Day pipe. This is actually a Peterson Green Spray Spigot. This is a Peterson lighter. Where you at? You know how you have patio furniture? Most people do. I think there's a little nest under mine that I've covered. I cover my patio furniture like most people. Anyway, I think I have a little nest. Something is deciding to build a little nest under there. That's very inconvenient come spring. Which this is, I think today or tomorrow is the first day of spring. I'm not sure. So, actually today is my birthday. And surprisingly, as it's a milestone birthday, my friends have said, since you've given us a pandemic for this birthday, they would like to know what I have planned for the next birthday. Or milestone birthday. And the dog walker's here. I guess she's going to be very surprised to see that I'm here. So, that being said, I'm smoking my Green Spray Spigot by Peterson. This actually is sterling silver. It even says so on the actual, I don't know if you can see that. Will it focus? Will it focus? There we go. I guess not. But hang on. We're back. So, yeah, that was actually a surprise. I think my wife forgot to tell the dog walker that I would be here today. So, smoking the Penzance. I guess celebrating because it's my birthday, I guess. It's not much to celebrate as we're all on some kind of quarantine, right? So, that brings the next question is, what are you guys doing to pass the time, so to speak? I mounted my TRX today on a tree in my yard, and I'm using that to work out. Since I can't go to the gym, which is just wrong. Of course, it's going to suck in the rain. I wouldn't mind using it in the snow with TRX, but I guess I could use it in the rain. Just what are you going to do, you know? Come out. I guess you can use it in the rain. I could set up a tarp. I'm just spitballing ideas here. um, hmm. OMS coffee, 1 man smoking. This is the Valhalla Java, though, the Odin Force blend. I have to get some of your coffee, by the way. I do have to pick some of that up. Another brand I like, actually, of coffee is a brand called Black Rifle. A little more bitter. More bitter? It's a touch bitter compared to Death Wish's Odin Force blend. And actually, I like this more than the regular Death Wish blend, too. For the same reason. It's strong, it's rounded, it's very round, though. There's no bitterness that comes off of this at all. Not that I mind bitter coffee too much, but for me personally, this is like the perfect blend of coffee. I actually don't smoke this pipe very often, maybe once or twice a year, actually, now that I think about it. And surprisingly, it is one of my favorite pipes. And it is an excellent pipe. I gotta tell you, this bowl stays cool no matter what is in it. I believe it's the 306 shape. It is silver on here. It says Sterling Silver on there. All the more reason you have to keep it in its bag, too. That bag will keep it from tarnishing, actually. And I gotta tell you, the Penzance is just as good now as it was the first day I smoked it. Oh. Surprisingly, I think I prefer Quiet Nights by GLPs to Penzance. And I know that is sacrilege to say. And I know there's people who compare the two. I think they're very different. I think for some reason there is like a creaminess to it. Alright, so that being said, finally got the sun out today. I don't know how long that's going to last because it is supposed to rain. I hope everyone is doing all right with this quarantining business. It is going to be longer than people initially anticipated, I believe. You do have to, continue safe distancing, things like that. Social distancing, they're calling it now. Which is so bizarre since so many people spend so much time online now and interact with people so frequently through telecommunications that it's bizarre to see people so up in arms about not being able to go places and do things. But I guess you take it for granted when when that ability is infringed on. But Yesterday I was talking about supplies and things like that, and making sure you had supplies. I still recommend that. I recommend, somebody said, oh, you definitely need more than 4 days worth of food. And I agree with that 100%. And I would like to clarify 4 days of food would be if you had to go portable. I don't know many people who could carry more than 4 days worth of food and supplies on their backs. Um, I'm a pretty strong guy myself, and I don't envision me carrying more than, the most I could hump is a 135 pound, 160 pound pack. Uh, and that's a really good backpack. And that's to the gills. And you know what? I don't want to carry that. And you know what? I should say that I probably couldn't do it because I could do it when I was in my 20s. I don't know that I could do that now. I'm physically stronger than I was in my 20s as far as the amount of weight I could lift. My endurance, however, is not where it was. And you have to think about your bones are not 20 some odd year old bones anymore. You're dealing with 50-year-old bones. You're dealing with 50-year-old heart tissue, things like that, no matter what kind of shape you've kept in. An in shape 50-year-old is not an in shape 20-year-old. Not to say that you could not take excellent care of yourself and be in fantastic shape at 50. You could be in fantastic shape at 50 compared to some 20-year-olds who don't take care of themselves. But if you have a 50-year-old and a 20-year-old who both take fantastic care of themselves, the endurance, you may even give the strength to the 50-year-old in all honesty, but the endurance, the the connective tissue is younger, and there's a lot of advantages in youth. At which point you would have to rely on your age and treachery. And I always pick age and treachery over youth and enthusiasm, for sure. As I've gotten older, I've also cheered more for that. But I have realized that the more I know that this is your most important tool in a survival situation, this is your most important tool in any situation. But also this being smart enough to keep the rest of this in peak physical condition as you can. That being said, I really don't feel a person could carry much more than 4 or 5 days worth of supplies on their back. And that includes clothing, things like that, change of clothing, toiletries. Hygiene is very important in survival situations, especially in natural disasters, because poor hygiene leads to quickly the spread of disease of all types. Just look at some, we have in some of our more indigent areas or transient areas of the country, we've had the presence of some medieval type diseases, such as, I believe there's been cholera, there's been typhus, bubonic plague, things like that are starting to make a resurgence in certain parts of the country. So that being said, and it's all related to poor hygiene, rats, things like that. So that being said, it's been one of those things where you want to, like I said, keep things clean. You want to be clean. You want to So any survival situation that you get yourself into, you are likely going to have to carry hygiene products. You might have to carry personal defense. You're going to have to carry your shelter likely on your back. Things like that. And then of course you're gonna have to carry food, a way to cook the food if it's food that needs to be cooked, things like that. That pack can get very heavy very quickly if you have to go mobile. If you're at home, like we are here, I would say at least have a month's supply of food, and the ability to either filtrate water or have water on hand. You know, don't quote me on this. I think it's a gallon of water per person per day. Might be more, in all honesty. But you do want the ability to filtrate water. You want water on hand. You want yes, water on hand in your own home. So yeah, you could be looking at a rather hefty supply of goods to stay put for a long time. Now, on the other end of it is there's gonna be food on the shelves in our supermarkets. You will be able to go out and get food. You will be able to go out and care for your infirmed loved ones, things like that at this point. No one's saying that people will not be able to do those things. You will be able to do those things. And there's going to be food on our shelves. You know, one thing we have a lot of in the United States is food. You know, we do have a lot of food. We manufacture a lot of the food for the world. All right, I mean, we have a lot of food in the United States. We will have food. All right, so all the panic buying and stuff like that, you know, don't worry. Now, to my friends and relatives who gave me a hard time for buying that extra couple cans of food every day that I went grocery shopping over the last couple years, or having supplies on hand and water and toilet paper, even having a supply of these items in my home, or they like to label you as a prepper. Well, I got something for you people. Now, I was, you know, people would say, oh, you're crazy for doing that, and things like that. Well, how is it that I was crazy for doing that, you know, 1 week at a time over the last X amount of years? Whereas what I saw in the supermarkets where people were walking down the aisles with 2 shopping carts just filled with toilet paper. No food, in just toilet paper. And people fighting over toilet paper, groceries, things like that. You telling me that's not crazy? That's crazy. 5 massive containers of toilet paper. That's ridiculous. But that's what I saw. And so, if anything, I think after we get out of this, I think Americans will learn that it would be a good idea to always keep a little prep supply on hand. And I would say, you know, if you're in an area that has natural disasters and you have to go mobile, I would have the ability to take those preparations mobile. And I would also have the ability to bunker in for extended periods of time as well. Very simple. It's funny because it's just really old world thinking. All stuff that we probably have known from our grandparents and fathers and things like that, and all things that they probably did growing up as well. We were growing up and we just either forgotten about it or That's it, Or we look at the convenience of our modern society and say, well, because of this convenience, it's no longer necessary to think or live like that. Well, this is one of those examples where it's necessary to think or live like this. So, listen, I don't want to lecture. I am going to get going. I thank you all for viewing. I thank you all for watching. I am going to try to make the best of this birthday day. The sun is out. I'm going to probably go wax the car. All right? Section 333 out. Have a good weekend.